Week 11 is upon us, and as we found out this morning on a Wednesday, we have a lot of QB news to shift through. So go on, pull up a chair, grab your favorite adult beverage, and if you're not the type that drinks, grab a cup of water and come on into the deli. It's week 11. Let's go. And welcome in to the DFS Deli. I'm the proprietor of this delicatessen, Saleh Ali Shahid, and it is a late Wednesday night as we take a look at the first look on the Week 11 slate, the only podcast that shoots you the most accurate, the most defining first look of the main slate. Of course, I'm joined tonight by my main man, Chill. Chill, welcome to Week 11. How's everything going tonight?
I mean, it's going pretty good. Can't really complain. It's taking a look at this slate here. It's another intriguing slate, and we'll go, like you said, position by position, and get ready to dive on in.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one. I mean, there's a lot to sift through. Last week was kind of gross, but this week, not so much. A lot of high team totals, 4 games, over a 45 total. So you got a lot to choose from. But if you want those higher price skill position players, as we kind of discussed earlier in the day via text a little bit, it is tough. I mean, tough to build some lineups. And that's why this point of the season, a lot of people drop off because building lineups is harder now. I mean, you got the Thanksgiving slate coming up, basketball's in full swing. I mean, either in your yearly leagues, either you suck or you're gonna try and cruise into the playoffs. A couple more sweats here and there, but we're getting a little lag time in the amount of players that are playing DFS. But if you're still with us, we're gonna break down the plays to kind of show you how we're gonna break down the slate this week. So last week was a disaster. Chill. I think, and my boy Darius kind of called me out about it because I played a lot of chalk, and that is not me. He was like, "That don't even sound like you." I'm like, you know what? You're right. You're absolutely right. I am not a chalk donkey. I'd rather go down with the ship of contrarianism or sail all the way to the top. And last week, me playing Tony in Pollard when literally the pivot was right there and playing Dakota Prescott, and I didn't do it. A lot of us didn't do it. I mean, I got off the Cowboys defense like you and I discussed on Saturday night to go to the Ravens. That was looking like a sexy play until the Browns started like scoring, which was weird.
Right.
But hey, they still got there though.
They did.
Still got there.
They did get there.
And the Cowboys defense didn't help anybody with that solid 8 points. I mean, again, we talked about it still. It was like, was Tommy DeVito going to put themselves in a game environment that warranted a lot of passing and causing sacks and interceptions and defensive touchdowns? Because that's what you really want anyway. But that didn't happen. Everything came from Dak Prescott.
And they got the garbage time touchdown.
And they sure did, just to break up the points even more. So, but yeah, I mean, I think because the slate this week is a little more wide open, that we have a lot of pivot plays to go through. So, I mean, I think this will be a fun GPP bro type of slate, and that kind of fits my style. You know what I mean? So we're gonna break it down position by position like we always do here at the DFS Deli. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And let's get into it. Let's talk about the big news of the day, Chill. Well, big to us because we live in Cleveland, I guess. So, I mean, I guess we got to kind of talk about it because it opens up another play on the slate if you want to consider it. Deshaun Watson out for the year with some kind of shoulder thing, whatever.
Right.
So he gone. So what does that – I don't know if it affects the slate that much because Lord knows we probably weren't touching this game anyway, right? I mean, I don't know how you felt about it, but I wasn't considering Deshaun Watson. Were you?
No, not at all, truthfully.
But now, will people consider $4,500 DTR on this slate?
I don't think so. I think Pittsburgh's defense becomes the chalk now.
You think so? You think they'll play the Steelers defense over the Jets defense?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think. I mean, like I get both sides of the coin there. Um, but again, like Pittsburgh's defense going up against DTR here. We saw what he did in the first game. Obviously, that's a little bit more of a unique circumstance because he was essentially rushed in there. But um, what do you how do you think the game script's going to go? I mean, because the thing is like for as much credit as the Browns defense gets, they're still like 24th or 25th. Like they allowed like 24 to 25 points per game defensively. So for as good as they are, like people still score points on them. I mean, Baltimore did it last week, although they had a defensive touchdown, but it does go against your defense. I get it, but um, you know that he didn't look good. It's
No,
Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's going to take away the run. You figure they're going to force him to pass. Um, I think Pittsburgh's defense here makes a lot of sense.
I mean, I understand that, but at the same time, I mean, we saw kind of what Pittsburgh wants to do, and we saw it last week against Green Bay. They're going to drain the clock and try to run it down your throat as well on offense. And as you know, this offense doesn't do anything until like the fourth quarter, if they have to.
Oh, they had like 14 points in the first half last week. That's
You're right;
pretty
it was turning into a shootout.
good.
Absolutely ridiculous. But did you see that this total is the second lowest total in the last decade?
What's it at now? I
Like
haven't looked.
34.
I believe
I
it.
don't know the final line because everything got pulled, but as soon as it went back up, I think I saw 34. I can triple check that here in a little bit, but I don't think I want anything to do with this game because if I know Stefanski, he's not going to let DCR pass.
I
And if
get
he
it.
does,
I
it's going to
like
be like 2 yards.
I get it, but like at the same time, I could see this game ending up 17-10, but like maybe either way, but like the defense has both touchdowns.
I I
Like that could happen.
I
It
agree.
really
I agree. I just think this is a total stay away from me.
yeah,
But
I agree in terms of the game environment. Me personally, I'm not playing DTR. For the contest I play in, I don't think you need to be that thin. I would rather pay $700 or $600 more for Will Levis. If we're gonna really arc.
brother, did he let us down last week? Oh
Oh, it was a huge letdown.
man,
Uh,
that was rough. But anywho, let's talk about good quarterbacks and pretty good matchups. But I mean, if you wanna talk about like decent quarterbacks, there's some expensive ones, and then there's a couple on the cheaper end that I'm kind of shocked that DraftKings and FanDuel alike haven't really altered their prices compared to not necessarily their upside, but their recent production, right? So Dak, we saw shatter the slate last week, against Carolina on the road. CJ Stroud, who is a walking 350 and 2 minimum baseline.
350 and 2. You better put some respect on that man's name. You better go 350 and 3.
Hey, listen, he only had 2 last week, 1 on the ground, 1 in the air. Okay. So I'm just going on recent performance. All right. So I respect CJ Stroud. I mean, when we were talking about a rookie that's in the MVP conversation, hey, I put some respect on the man's name.
If they had I think if they had another win or two, like if they were like 7-2 or whatever the case may be, like he would definitely be the MVP.
They
I
needed
think
they needed that Carolina game. They shouldn't have dropped that Carolina game.
yeah,
That's what it really is.
yeah, because if you're at 6-3, I would definitely put him in the MVP. I mean, honestly, I think the MVP of the league right now is a defensive player.
I could get behind that because all the quarterbacks keep like fluctuating in between one
I,
another, and there's no
like I
clear
said, like
runaway.
I'm not a Browns truther or fan, but I think the MVP right now is Miles Garrett.
I think Mr. Watt is going to have something to say about that after Sunday.
I listen. It's
I'm
top
just saying.
two, three, top three defensive players battling it out, or top four at least, depending on how you want to rank them with Bosa and Micah Parsons.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, absolutely.
but like I think Miles Garrett, like that dude is consistent, shows up every week. He's a force every week, every game. He's getting sacks, fumbles.
I mean, I get it. I get it. But well, I mean, we'll see what it boils down to. But anyway, we got to talk about the quarterbacks who probably that it's their award anyway. I mean, quarterback's gonna win, but it's still. Um,
You're not
Again, I
wrong.
mentioned CJ Stroud on the other side of the ball. You have Kyler Murray, who came off, I mean, a decent performance. He show he still got it with his legs. Going into Houston here, high team total. I mean, I like the game environment for the way both of them set up. I mean, indoors should be back and forth. And there's obviously chalkier pieces that Kyler will have this week. You got a wide receiver on the cheap end to go with him as well. So, I mean, Kyler is going to pique a lot of people's interest this week. And then Jared Goff at home also sees the return of Justin Fields on the other side of the ball. And for some reason, at least on DraftKings, they don't move Brock Purdy's price like at all. I
Never.
mean, was 303 not good enough for you last week to bump him up a couple hundred?
Nope.
I mean, and Tampa, who's turned into lay pass funnel. We thought Will Levis was going to take advantage of this pass funnel, but apparently he ain't there yet. But if anybody can do it, you know, Brock Purdy can probably do it because they formed Voltron all over again with the return of Deebo Samuel. So
And
there's a
Trent
lot
and
of
Trent.
different options this week. And then at the top, most expensive quarterback on the slate, Jameis Winston. I mean, Josh Allen, excuse me, my bad. Kind of confused the two. But
that Monday night game had to just be a dagger in your soul.
Listen, man, I didn't want to go to work. I didn't want to talk to nobody. Like, my buddy looked at me. He's like, "How about?" I was like, "You shut your fucking mouth right now, dude. I'll punch you."
Listen, as the resident Dolphins fan, like I'd even say a word. I'm like, damn, lost to the Broncos.
Yeah, man. So somebody was I was liable to fight somebody.
Yeah,
because one of my friends hit me with the "You okay?" text, and I just didn't respond. I was not okay.
I mean, I don't get why they fired Dorsey. It's not Dorsey's fault that they had 12 defensive people on the field.
Someone had to be a scapegoat, so
Facts.
I guess it'd be Ken Dorsey. I don't know. You got one of the top offenses in the league, based statistically, and you fire offense coordinator. I mean, it is what it is. Maybe it's. I don't know, man. There's something going on in that front office.
That team's window closed when they lost the game in Kansas City, and they've not recovered from it. Like
Clearly
the one
not.
guy, like I said, the one guy kind of put it best. He says Josh Allen plays every game like it's that playoff game. And the fact that they don't have a consistent running game, I don't care what anybody says, it hurts their team. I don't care how good of a quarterback you are. If you don't have somewhat of a consistent running game, you're screwed. For as much credit as we want to give Pat Mahomes, Kansas City runs the ball. With whoever they have back there.
I mean, they had over 100 yards rushing. You know what I'm saying? Like James Cook did at least, but it's like you can't have these.
It's the first time he showed up because they actually knew how to use him.
Well, I mean, technically half of that came on, the last damn drive.
Where the ball
got it back. So, right. I mean, I'm trying to give a little credit where credit's due, but the fact of the matter is that Josh Allen goes against one of the top defenses in the NFL on Sunday, late hammer, and he's going to be, in my opinion, I haven't seen ownership numbers yet. It is an early Wednesday night, but relatively unowned. He's the most expensive quarterback on the slate. He's going against a top flight defense. He does nothing but turn the ball over because that's what he's known for, apparently. And, I think that when I start building DFS lineups, and if I see Josh Allen less than 5%, I don't give a damn about the matchup. The dude can break a damn slate. So he's in the player pool. Believe that.
I agree.
So just because of who he is and what he's capable of, defense be damned. I don't know what their new offensive coordinator is going to be capable of, minus Ken Dorsey, but they have to do something. I mean, Buffalo as a team has to win out. They can't lose a game, and they have one of the toughest schedules in the NFL.
Yes, they do. I know they have to play Dallas. I know they have to play Miami. I don't think they play Kansas City. I could be wrong, but I don't think they do.
I don't remember the schedule offhand, but it's horrible. It sucks.
No, it's tough. It's tough. No, I kind of agree with you. If Josh Allen's coming in at 5%, there's one lineup with him in it. This just screams I'll never forget when you sat here and preached play the Saints against the 49ers that one year. You're like, I should just play the Saints.
Oh yeah. I do remember that. I
and
do
then
remember that.
and then you didn't play the Saints, and like that game shot out,
It
and
went
like
berserk.
yeah, again, like Buffalo's defense is not all that great. The Jets may be able to keep up, but like if there's a game like if Josh Allen's rolling, they're gonna run up the score. They're gonna need to build, momentum and all that stuff. So like 5% Josh Allen, I'm in. I don't really care. It's a great player in a bad matchup. I'll take it. I don't care personally. Um, they'll keep Diggs away from Sauce Gardner. They'll just put Gabe Davis over there like they usually do, and
It
Gabe
didn't
Davis.
matter the first game. Steph Diggs still
Right,
lit him up for over 100 and a touchdown. So
right,
Sauce got the sauce that
right.
game.
Taking a look here, like you mentioned, Dak. I mean, after last week, I don't see how you can really go against it. It's going up against the Panthers. It's in Carolina, so if you want to tell me, like the Cowboys on the road tend to not play as well. I mean, it is a cupcake matchup, but that would be my only concern for whatever reason. Like they struggle on the road. Um, taking a look here,
I mean, Carolina is such a weird team, right? Like they're the only team really that gave CJ Stroud drama.
right.
So
Like
weird.
yeah. Again, like you said, weird team. That situation's a little interesting. I mean, you mentioned Kyler Murray and C.J. Stroud. Again, a matchup you figure is going to be a little bit up in pace here. Kyler looked pretty good back in his first game. Um, you
When he
do.
overthrew Hollywood Brown for that easy touchdown.
Oh, don't
Jerk.
tell. One quarterback I think I like this week, and I don't know if people are getting hip to it, but like I think Sam Howell is like appropriately priced.
You talking about the dude that leads the league in passing yards?
Yeah, I mean, I like that whole offense as a whole. I mean, I think truthfully, if you're building lineups this week, you almost need a commander, right?
I just wish the Giants weren't a dumpster fire because remember the Giants ate the Commanders' soul in that first matchup. But now, because of a quarterback change, because Tommy DeVito is inept, I mean, this Giants team is a joke.
They're
So
they're
I
bad.
I kind of agree with you to the point where it's like there's going to be a commander that does something. I just don't know where to go. You think like Brian Robinson? We'll get to running backs here in a minute, but like, do you think Brian Robinson's going to be like chalky because of the matchup?
I
Or
think because of his price and the matchup.
he
But
ain't
again,
priced good on FanDuel? This FanDuel price sucks ass.
we'll have to take a look there. I think the most intriguing quarterback on the slate is probably Trevor Lawrence.
Blech.
And listen, like this is the time last year where he took off in terms of like his stats. But like
Yeah, you're
the
right.
only
You're
thing
right.
the only thing that concerns me about Lawrence is like he's never had a break the slate effort.
This is true. This is true. He's more of a floor play. I agree with you.
I mean, but like he's going up against Tennessee. If you want to argue for ETN in the next section, I get it. Like I don't think Tennessee's run defense is as good as what it normally is. But like Trevor Lawrence at 6K kind of lets you kind of play with some good pieces there. It's an easy bring back from the Tennessee side. You're not guessing. You can play Chig. If you want to play R King, who's at the lowest price I've ever seen him in my life, uh,
The king is dead. Chill. The king is dead.
the King is hurting. And actually, I got a fun bet with you. I got a fun bet. We'll take a. So I'm gonna establish my brand, and I
Okay.
feel like so you can have DTR, and then I will let you take the. I'm gonna take the quarterback from my brand. He's on the road this week. He's only $200 more expensive than DTR. He's got initials too.
You talking about AOC?
Damn right, I'm talking about AOC.
You want to do DTR in one of the lowest totals in the last decade versus AOC against the sieve of a Dolphins defense. Well, not technically. Well, I mean, they can be had. But
I mean, they can be had. They are coming off a bye, and this is probably the healthiest that defense has been. But I'm not like Dolphins defense as a fan. It ain't good. All right, like my Dolphins, they are a playoff team. I don't think they're a favorite. Like I would pick the Bengals over my Dolphins. I don't care that they lost to Houston.
Bengals ain't going nowhere, dog. Once they hold this L against the Ravens, their season is over.
I agree 1,000%.
They have to beat the Ravens tomorrow. Have to. Must win, period. Because you know who has a harder schedule than the Bills? The Bengals. They lose this game, it is a wrap. But yeah, I mean, you know what? For funsies, of course.
Yeah, for funsies. What do we got to lose here?
What do we got to lose?
I mean, again, I think this week, quarterback, I don't see there being a dominant chalk quarterback. Do you think it's going to be pretty spread out?
Yeah, because there's a lot of options. So, like, for me, it's 100% ownership and pivot, right? So, again, we already mentioned, if no one's playing Josh Allen, I'm playing Josh Allen. If CJ Stroud's the chalk, I'm playing Kyler Murray. If Kyler Murray's the chalk, I'm playing CJ Stroud. If Devin Singletary is the chalk, I'm playing CJ Stroud. If Kyler Murray's the chalk, I'm playing James Conner. I mean, it's as simple as that. So if the Lions' backfield is going to be chalky because they see Chicago, I'm playing home Jared Goff. If Goff is somehow chalky and his backfield is getting ownership, I'm playing Justin Fields. If Justin Fields is getting ownership, I'm playing Goff. I mean, like, it's just 1,000% ownership. That and the other game that I really want to get into is Rams Seahawks. I mean, this is one of the higher totals on the board. It is a 1-point spread, so basically a pick 'em. So Vegas is expecting to have some back and forth. So like I don't like Stafford, but I do like Geno. Never play Stafford. Never, ever, ever play Matt Stafford in DFS. But Geno, over 302 last week, I could see myself getting there. I could definitely see myself getting there.
He tried so hard to get the fat chick at the bar there.
He tried. If the game ended up with like 98 yards,
7 for 96, 7 for 98.
I mean, we were
almost
get on the door.
If it goes into overtime, I think I'm solid.
Yeah, but Geno Smith, he's clutch. You know what I'm saying? So he just drove him down the field. Get the dub. You know what I'm saying?
He is clutch. I won't argue that.
Yeah, I mean, again, Dolphins coming off a bye. I don't mind Tua in this spot as well because for some reason no one plays him either. So I mean, you're talking Dolphins off a bye against the Raiders, healthy wide receivers. I already know people are going to play Tyreek Hill, so might as well just go ahead and throw Tua in with him. And the last guy I want to discuss real quick might be a Saturday take. Depends on his ownership. I kind of mentioned to you earlier, Chill, but Jordan Love.
I won't even comment on that till Saturday, bro.
Listen. The Chargers can't stop anybody anywhere on the field. I mean, you're talking a cheap stack with whoever you want to pair him with, either Watson, Musgrave, Dobbs, Reed, whoever.
I think the only way I would play Jordan Love is if I go Jordan Love, Aaron Jones, wide receiver. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's fair.
And then what Charger do you run it back with?
Does it matter?
No.
I mean, we saw exactly what happened to the Packers defense on the ground last week when the Steelers ran for over 200 yards on them. So you can go Eckler. I mean, Keenan Allen is just Keenan Allen because the dude don't throw to anybody fucking else.
Jalen Guyton had a touchdown. Come on.
Yeah, so did Quentin Williams. Well, I think 1 yard. Yeah, get the fuck out of here.
I think that's because Keenan Allen got hurt. I think that's the only reason why Jalen Guyton got that touchdown.
There it is. There it is.
You may be able to convince me of that on Saturday. You may. I want to see. I want to see what the lineup looks like with them in it.
There you go. I'm just kind of throwing it out there for right now.
I mean, because right now
it's an early look.
That stack is less than 10%.
That just sounds hot. Let's slide over to running back real quick. And your Miami Dolphins, welcome back, Devon Etienne. kind of just feeling out how that situation is going to work in that backfield. I think either of them is viable. They kind of have the same situation with the Lions with David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs and Tony Pollard.
Welcome back.
It's the Panthers.
If not now,
you can do it now. Like, no. Again, I think Tony Pollard is dead to me. If he is chalky, fuck him. I'm just going to play CeeDee Lamb all over again. I'm just going there. But if people are pissed like me and don't play him, I might play him. I mean, he's cheap-ish. The matchup is good.
This is the relationship I have with Kyle Pitts.
I know. Yeah. Tony Pollard is the Kyle Pitts of running backs. You're absolutely right. That is a great comparison.
No, I everything you said there was right. Again, the Miami backfield, again, Devin Etienne, it's not like he was hurt. Like they only took him off and put him on the IR for precaution. Like,
right. They said he could play with a brace, but he chose not to.
So I mean, he's coming back 100% here. And honestly, this is probably the cheapest he's gonna be. If
you're gonna get on now.
And again, like the Raiders do a good job of stopping the pass. Against the run, not so much. We saw Breece Hall cook against these boys. Again, Breece Hall should have had a touchdown. It got called back. I just don't remember what it was for. So, like, I think if you want to play either one, you're fine. I think that's totally fine. Again,
yeah, I think it's more of a coin flip. I'd rather take the guy that, I mean, both of them are capable, kind of, but like, I'd rather take a guy that could get 7 carries than 130 and 2.
Facts. Again, taking a look here at some of these guys, I mean, I think my favorite play so far on the slate is probably like Gibbs. I do like Gibbs this week. Might be more of a DraftKings type of play, only for the reception. Again, Chicago has done a pretty good job as of late of stopping the run. But honestly, this Detroit offense I'm just going to say, is built different. Like you said, Dan Campbell does not give a fuck what your run defense is.
They built different. You're right.
They are built different. Again, I think either one of those is fine. I can't see myself playing Montgomery in the revenge game. I get the move. It makes sense.
Revenge.
I don't think I could do it. I'm more likely to play Austin Eckler over CMC for the reasons you pointed out earlier, and Austin Eckler is cheaper. So I do like.
I hate to say it, but Austin Eckler is probably my favorite slam dunk play of the damn slate.
I think I'm going to agree with you. I actually think your chalkiest running back on the slate is probably Jacobs, right?
Either Jacobs, or I think people will convince themselves with the matchup to probably play Brian Robinson Jr., and there's still going to be people that play Tony Pollard. I mean, the matchup is there. I think that the Cowboys have this thing where they're trying to erase the perception of Dakota Prescott. I think they want to keep him throwing touchdowns and kind of push him into a pseudo MVP candidate. There was zero reason why they had to drop 405 on them last week. Zero reason. The game was over from the second minute of the damn game.
I think I agree with you. I also think they switched more to a passing team kind of early on in the season because Tony Pollard wasn't getting it done. And I think they realized early enough to be like, you know what? We have to throw first to establish the run.
Well, you got to realize that they changed that offense for him, like basically, like they had Zeke slamming up the middle for 3 yards and then getting Tony Pollard on the outside. Whereas now they got him running into the back of the guard, and they have nobody that creates those explosive plays in space.
They got Doodle.
Dude, fuck him. Doodle. God damn it.
Like I said, I do like Aaron Jones this week. Again, the Chargers defense can't stop nobody. They struggle on the ground. We watched Detroit run all over them. If there's one thing that Green Bay will attempt to do, um, it's run. I like Aaron Jones here at home against the Chargers. Um, Again, the Brian Robinson Jr. I do like. Devin Singletary, if Damian Pierce is ruled out, going up against the Cardinals. Um,
I think even if he plays, I think Devin Singletary kind of claimed this backfield to himself. I mean, there might be a split, but I think he's still going to be the guy.
yeah, I don't want to play this. If Damian Pierce is back, that to me just go to CJ Stroud at that point.
I don't want to play Devin Singletary as the chalk either. Like I'm with you. I would just rather just play more pass catchers for CJ Stroud. So I mean, I'm kind of there with you. But I mean, Devin Singletary is cheap enough to the point where it's like, what can he do to actually like hurt your lineup? I mean, you're not paying that price for him to be a slate breaker.
And I mean, and again, I mentioned him earlier, but again, let's establish the rules of running backs. Is the running back playing at home? Check. Is he favored? Check. Is he going to get 20 plus opportunities? Check. Have we seen this man get 30 yards and 3 touchdowns? Check. Travis Etienne at home playing the Titans.
I know.
I think he's going to be the under owned guy on the slate. I think when the cards flip.
You think Travis Etienne will be under owned? Really?
I mean,
people like playing Travis Etienne, man.
I mean, so what is who's around him price wise on DraftKings, right? So like you have McCaffrey, Eckler, and then it's Etienne, and then nobody's playing Saquon Barkley.
Nor should they.
And then Gibbs is $200 cheaper. Raheem is $300 cheaper. Pollard is way cheaper. Etienne is way cheaper. Jacobs is way cheaper. I think when the cards flip, man, I don't think anybody's playing Etienne. And if there's one part of the Jacksonville's offense you trust, it's him.
And Christian Kirk.
I'll give you Christian Kirk.
At least you don't have to worry about, the third receiver in that offense because he got arrested.
Zay Jones?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
He was hurt anyway, but he was on his way back. But yeah, status arrested.
Oh, damn. He's out there with Michael Thomas.
Domestic battery. Idiot.
Again, probably a Saturday take, but I think I could be convinced to play James Conner.
I think I can convince to take some shots at Derrick Henry too. I mean, he's cheap, and we've seen over the years that this man, like, he owns part of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh, yeah.
That man owns real estate there. So, tell me my king is what, 6,200?
63.
Oh, so that's 6,300. Then he's 7.5 on FanDuel. I mean, I might take some shots, chill. I'm not gonna lie,
bro. I don't blame you.
I might take some shots.
Take some shots.
Okay, we safe to move over to some wide receiver takes.
I think so.
Hey, play Tyreek Hill. He's good.
All right, moving on. Tight end.
Cool. Tight end. So I'm not. But no, I mean, this is where the slate will probably be made. Is going to be at this wide receiver position, just like it kind of is every week. I mean, it turns like these superstars are getting there, and they're not just getting there, they're breaking slates. So, I mean, you're talking Tyreek Hill fresh off the bye, even though he's the most expensive receiver on the slate. Whoop, there it is. You can still play him. You can find the room to get him in. The Sun God, as consistent as they come, plus matchup. Sedarius, who's been absolutely destroying worlds the past couple weeks, he's there. You got the Rams guys at a discounted price. We know what Cooper Kupp is capable of. Now that he's got Matt Stafford back. So there's definitely a chance there. And then there's Keenan Allen. I mean, Keenan Allen just does what Keenan Allen does. So it's going to be a choice whether you try to jam in two of these guys or just hope and pray that the one you don't pick doesn't put you to sleep. So this is going to be a scary slate at the wide receiver position, especially at the top. There's a lot of mid-tier guys because we got all the Houston guys. They're not priced up. The Cardinals guys, they're not priced up. I mean, we got some options, but if you were to choose one of the two or one or two guys up at the top, who are you leaning towards on a Wednesday night?
Honestly, you could pick one of the three. If you're playing Tyreek Hill, Amon-Ra St. Brown, or CeeDee Lamb.
Or Keenan
Yep.
Allen?
Yeah, I think I'm only going to play Keenan Allen if it's with Herbert and Eckler. Like, I think if I'm playing the Chargers, I'm just onslaughting the Chargers.
So chill. Here's what you do. You play Jordan Love. You play Eckler. You play Keenan Allen. You play Christian Watson. You play Luke Musgrave. There's a 5-man onslaught right there, just ready for you, dog. Play some Jordan Love with me, man. Do it.
I think, like I said, I think I can be convinced. I think. I mean, again, taking a look here. Again, if you're going to give me 5% Josh Allen and 5% Stephon Diggs, I'm in.
I didn't even put Steph Diggs in that category. I totally forgot. Yeah.
Again,
I'm
I think those two are going to be a Saturday take, but Garrett Wilson last week got an abundance of targets.
He always does, but Zach Wilson is ass.
He is ass, but again, the Buffalo's defense is not as good as I think what a lot of people may think. We did see, Cortland Sutton had a good game against them as well. The Arizona guys kind of become interesting because, like, Marquise Brown again is a good value, but like,
people are playing Rondale Moore, bro. People are going to play the shit out of Rondale Moore this week.
I will not play chalky Rondale Moore. If he's chalky, I'll play the other guy. I'll just play.
Oh, he's going to be chalky. He's going to be chalky.
I'll just play Michael Wilson, right? Like McBride.
Sure.
Again, you mentioned a lot of these guys already. Insert Commanders wide receiver here. Listen, I played Jahan Dotson. I still cashed one of my lineups with him getting.
Oh, Jahan.
Yeah, yep. I still cashed, though. I actually did pretty well in that tournament for him getting 0.
A fat goose egg. But meanwhile, De'Ami Brown.
Right.
What?
Again, the Commanders' offense, they just pass way too much. Again, if you want to play either one of the wide receivers, I get it. And again, the Giants team is so bad. It's bad. And I get it. Dak Prescott right now is playing at like a top 5 level, but Sam Howell is just gonna throw. Eric Bieniemy don't care.
He don't.
And like Sam Howell is getting better and better and better. They are playing at home. I think that makes a huge difference for the Commanders here. So again, I do like putting a commander here. And again, I think if you're playing Lions, you have to take a look at DJ Moore here, regardless of who the quarterback is. Like, sure. The Lions are susceptible through the air. Like, that's where they're weak at. They're weak at corner. Again, going off of that. Other than that, this week, nobody's going to be playing the Seattle guys again. And I don't think anybody's touching the Rams. Nobody's touching the Rams-Seahawks game, truthfully.
You should totally do it.
And
if you're not playing the Packers game with me, come and play the Seahawks game with me, bro.
Right. The Seahawks defense does scare me. I get it. Week 1, but because week 1, they didn't know what they were getting into with the Rams. And they've gotten better. Their secondary is very good.
Yeah, they were just getting scorched by 4th-string wide receivers and 2 running backs.
Right.
Their wide receivers were sauce.
You can't cover everybody. So
can't cover everybody. You're absolutely right.
Can't
cover everybody.
I mean, in terms of I don't think one of these wide receivers is going to be the stone cold chalk.
On which? Oh, are you talking about just the slate as a whole?
Yeah.
I think, again, it's going to be an ownership thing. I think, if everybody flocks to Tyreek Hill, I might play more CeeDee Lamb. If everybody flocks to CeeDee Lamb, I might play more Sun God. If everybody flocks to the Sun God, I might play more Keenan Allen. I mean, this is, again, I want to play the ownership game, but, with those top guys in plus matchups, all of them are, it's very difficult to go wrong.
I mean,
It's just what happens if one of them that you don't have the one that puts you to bed.
100%. I could see Rondale Moore being the chalk.
That's what I said. Oh, you talking about just yeah.
Yeah,
People gonna play Rondale.
yeah. I think on the slate. And then I guess maybe, dude, it's so hard. Like, I would want to play Jalen Waddle, but there's so many pieces on this Dolphins offense now.
Just play Tyreek Hill.
Agreed.
Stop bullshitting.
Um,
Just
I'm.
play Tyreek Hill.
I mean, I guess we got to talk about the other wide receiver in that game, right? Devontae Adams.
I mean, he's cheap enough, and AOC only throws to 2 dudes. So I mean, yeah.
Again, I mean,
not.
Like you said, like the way you want to kind of put Jordan Love, if you just go AOC Adams and then you put the Dolphins around it.
I'm not playing AOC, dude.
Listen, I'm just saying, if AOC gets you Etienne and Tyreek Hill.
And listen, Jordan Love can do the same thing, okay? And he gets,
I know.
He gets the Chargers. The Chargers are so bad. Oh my God, they suck.
I know, but like, it's
I'm not playing AOC, dude.
The Raiders Dolphins game is the scariest game on the slate.
You think so?
I think it's the scariest one. I think you could see the Dolphins blowing them out. You could see that shit 30-35.
Unfortunately, yes.
Because, like, again, the Dolphins defense, meh.
But like you said, this is the first time they're going to have this secondary, like, completely healthy, and they get Deshaun back. So it's like,
true.
I mean, they're ready. I mean, they're ready to make a statement. So you know what they do against bad teams.
I fucking murder them. But, like, the Raiders are 5-5.
Oh, so that means you can go either way.
Like, I mean, are the Raiders a bad team? I don't know.
They were poorly coached. I could tell you that.
They did not want to play for McDaniels.
No.
At all. And, like, right now, like, with Antonio Pierce, you think those guys were, like, going to the damn Super Bowl.
Or get out the victory cigars coming up.
I don't know.
I'm
like
with it.
It's wide receivers interesting. Like, a lot of the takes here are kind of going to depend on ownership for me.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably for me a GPP bro week. So, and I'm cool with that. I like leaning into that narrative. So, let's slide over to tight end real quick because we have to. I think there's actually a decent amount of options. I mean, we don't have Kelsey. We don't have Hawkinson. I mean, those guys are off the table. No Mark Andrews either. But Dalton Kincaid, Trey McBride, Sam Laporta, George Kittle shoved it up our asses saying that he couldn't do anything without with Debo in the lineup. So my bad. Dr. Schultz as well. And of course, Jake the Snake has been solid for us over the past 2 weeks. So, I mean, where are you kind of leaning on this slate? Because there's a decent amount of options. I know Trey McBride's going to be the chalk because Houston is dead last to get it, points allowed against the tight end. But like, I don't want to play chalky Trey McBride again. I just don't want to. I know I should, but I don't want to. But kind of give me your lean on things.
As they were calling him on the Swolecast, Mini Gronk.
Is he Mini Gronk? Stop it.
I think tight end is this. If I can get to McBride, it's probably just play McBride and walk away. Like, why overthink it? I'll give you another guy that I think is intriguing here.
Luke Musgrave.
No, actually, it'd be Dalton Kincaid.
That's fair.
I do like Dalton Kincaid. He's 4,900, a little pricey, but nobody's playing him.
Because no one's playing Josh Allen.
Correct.
Initially, like if he gets steamed, I'm completely off.
100%.
But if no one's playing Josh Allen, guess who's coming along with him in those stacks? Dalton Kincaid.
If you want to punt this week, Michael Mayer is 2,700.
Dude, he's going to be so chalky. I think he's going to be chalky. Like if it's not McBride, people are going to convince themselves to play Michael Mayer.
You're probably right.
I can totally see that.
But I mean, again, Evan Ingram is always fine. Cole Kmet.
I
Doesn't
mean, if you're
matter.
running some Justin Fields, I'm never going to complain about Cole Kmet. I agree.
Um, yeah, man, it's gross. Tight end is gross.
I honestly don't think it's gross. I think there's actual options that we need to consider this week. I mean, I know we got to be price sensitive, but at the same time, like Sam Laporta's a beast. Dalton Kincaid has been beasting. Trey McBride, same thing. Dalton Schultz, same thing. I mean, there's some ways to go this week. I think the tight ends have to be incorporated in your stacks. How about that? So I think there's
I do.
0 one-off tight ends this week. Like, oh, I'm just going to punt the position and I'm going to play Michael Mayer. Well, don't play Michael Mayer if you're not playing Tyreek Hill. At
I
least get a mini stack in there. Call it a day.
right. I mean, if I'm playing Commanders, I'm probably gonna throw in Logan Thomas.
Dude. I'm all about some Logan Thomas.
But like you
I
said,
don't know
I
about
think
this week because I don't want to play that game, but yeah, I get it. I get it. Totally get it.
yeah, if I'm gonna one off a piece, it's probably McBride and Laporta.
I love Sam Laporta. He's so good.
And until Brock Wright catches the damn touchdown.
My client, Brock Wright. I'm not going to say I was tilted by that touchdown, but it was kind of funny. I didn't know Brock Wright was still on the team.
He's a Dan Campbell bro. Dan Campbell loves that.
Okay. All right. I did not know that. All right. Well, let's slide over to defense, where we kind of alluded to earlier in the show about what could be the chalk, other interesting plays. I mean, Commanders go against Tommy DeVito.
Yep.
Right? But they're expensive. Cowboys, Bryce Young, super expensive, hard pass. Buffalo gets, Zach Wilson, always an option. But then the Jets get Jameis Josh Allen. So it's like, are they going to be the chalk? Now that we know that DTR is going to be starting, Pittsburgh's defense is on the table. So, I mean, again, with defense,
the Cowboys get Bryce Young.
I said that.
Oh, did you? My bad.
Yep. I said hard pass.
I think one that you'll have to think about is the Jags get Will Levis.
I mean, the 49ers get Baker Mayfield too. So
that is true.
Even though Baker's been like good this year, but I mean, the 49ers just embarrassed Trevor Lawrence. So what is Trevor Lawrence to Baker Mayfield? You know what I'm saying? So,
right. I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
Again, the Jags at home against Levis. I know up until last week at least they were leading the league in turnovers. I do believe. So it is a ball hawking defense, quote unquote.
Well, that number didn't change, seeing as how San Francisco waxed that ass.
True. And then I guess if you wanna, since we've been kind of talking about it, the Dolphins against AOC.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
On the table. Absolutely.
If you're punting a defense, you just punt to the Packers?
Absolutely not. I'm not playing the Packers defense. You crazy?
You're crazy.
You see all the points they let up against the Steelers inept offense? I'm hot on that one. Nah, hard pass. Hard pass. If I do something weird, I'm just gonna play the Giants against the Commanders. I mean, they already beat that ass one time this year. Like, is Sam Howell magically not gonna get sacked? Fuck out of here.
The Giants are so bad.
They're so bad on offense, Chill. They can still get to the quarterback.
Bro, they gave up 400 yards in 3 quarters. Dak could have went for 600 yards.
Did they intercept Dak Prescott, sir? Did they pick him off?
I think they did, right?
Yeah, they did. So you're saying it's possible. Again, if I want to get absolutely weird, I'm just going to play the Giants again against the Cardinals against the Commanders because why not? Again, their offensive line all of a sudden didn't just get good. You know what I'm saying? He's still going to pass at an extremely high rate. Like, nah, if I'm going to get funky, again, maybe a Saturday thing, but I play some Giants just for S's and G's. If I can't get up to a defense that I prefer. I
Right.
prefer the commies. I prefer Tampa or not Tampa, the 49ers against Tampa. I mean, like, I don't want to play the Jets. I get the logic because, like, Josh Allen is all of a sudden going to have 151 point, or 158.1 QBR, you know what I'm saying, in one game. But, like, they're going to be chalky. I don't want to do that. I want to do that. But I guess we'll see how ownership kind of shakes out. So,
I
um,
agree.
yeah, we got a little extra time. So, real quick, I want to kind of get your side thoughts about, like, on a Wednesday, not who you're playing, but how you're playing this
All
week's
right.
slate. Because here's how I'm playing this slate, and I'll tell you my logic behind it. I'm taking a game that I like and stacking the shit out of it and hope it hits. Because there are plays there's several games with a lot of plays, and you can't jam everybody in. So I kind of want to take like a big game stack from Houston, or a big game stack from Seattle, or a big game stack from Miami. Get those guys and kind of just float them all together. 5 to 6 pieces from the same lineup, like you said, or the Packers game too. Not the highest total in the world, but again, neither team can't stop nobody. So I mean, that could be one of the ones that easily go over at lower ownership. Again, if those games hit, then the other lineups die. I'm fine with that. But again, I want one lineup that has like one game centerpiece and kind of taking off. So I rarely play slates like that. But this week, I think I'm going balls deep in it. I'm going balls deep in game stacks this week. So
I'm not against it. Like you said, I'm not much of a game stack type of fellow myself. Um, I think for me, this week is really just going to come down to ownership. Like that's what it's really going to come down to, um, for me, and just taking a look to see who's what. I mean, for as much as we do talk, like for the Cowboys and the Dolphins, they could be in potential blowout situations, right? So like, does CD Lamb get there again in a blowout situation? Probably. Then again, we might just be overthinking this. Like, it's just like, hey, like the teams that they're playing are so bad. Like, like last week, it should have just been like just put the entire Cowboys team in your lineup. Like,
this
again,
is true.
put the Dolphins in your lineup. Like, what are you thinking? Like, um, same thing. Probably be look at the Chargers and Packers same way. Like, hey, like the Packers are terrible. This Chargers offense is like good. Um,
Yeah, but the Chargers are equally as bad.
agreed. Agreed. I think for me, it's going to be ownership. And again, I get the Jets defense. I get it. Um, but Josh Allen already came out today and basically was kind of sad panda that Dorsey got fired.
I'm sure.
Um, like the Bills are at home. Like they're at home. Like,
They were at home on Monday too.
dude, that's true. It's true, but
Oops.
like, it's true, but like, if not now, when with the
Okay,
Bills?
Tony Pollard. I see you. I mean, we got if not, now win from Bijan. Got aces from him last week. Could have been
although
bigger.
although Arthur Smith didn't get fired,
I know. God dang it.
terrible.
Fireman did his job. The Cardinals did their job, damn it.
And
Falcons front office, do your job. Fire this cat.
Arthur Blank was just like, we're not gonna fire him, and god damn it.
Shame. Shame.
Yeah, I think for me it's just gonna be ownership plays. Like you said, I think it's a GPP bro kind of slate. And we're just going to take a look at ownership
My
and
favorite type of slate. Favorite.
go from there, because like to me the slate it's pretty open in terms of plays. Like, again, you're not jamming in Tyreek Hill, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and CeeDee Lamb. Like, you're not going to be able to play one of them.
Correct.
Like, it's just not going to happen. You're
Or
not going to
Keenan
be able,
Allen or Steph Diggs. It just ain't
or
gonna happen.
correct, or Eckler, or McCaffrey. Like again, you're gonna have to make some tough decisions, and it's like those decisions are just like, what are you pivoting away from, or who are you pivoting away from?
Right.
So
As long as we make those pivot plays in a smart way, then I guess, like, again, if you're not playing the Dolphins backfield, play a Dolphins pass catcher, and vice versa. If you're not playing the pass catcher, play the backfield. If you're not playing Tony Pollard, make sure you play CD Lamb, and vice versa. I mean, like, these team totals that are, you know, at the top of the slate, or actually, I would prefer you have pieces from those teams. So
right,
a lot of different teams to choose from. And that's what like kind of bogs me down about the 49ers too, because they have a high team total, but like, am I gonna pick Debo out of that team and put him on a lineup? Am I gonna pick out CMC? Am I gonna pick out Brandon Ayuk? Am I gonna pick out George Kittle? Like, am I just gonna play Brock Purdy? Because he's cheap. So I just go down that narrative. So it's a lot to decipher. And again, we'll pop back in on Saturday, hopefully, and kind of break down where ownership shakes out and kind of our final descent into week 11. But until then, again, don't forget to like and subscribe on the way out. Share this podcast with your peeps. Make sure you download us, put us in your pockets. And for Baker I haven't heard from him, but I hope he's doing good at his job. For Dale, haven't heard from him either, but I hope he's doing well. And for Chill, it's your boy Saleh Ali Shaheed, and we're gonna go ahead on out and close up the shop. And of course, we'll see you all at the top.